Let's talk about one of the biggest, but also one of the quietest problems in trading. It's something we're calling the silent erosion of trading capital, and it might be the real reason why so many accounts just slowly fade away. And it all really starts with this simple but powerful idea. It's almost never that one big catastrophic trade that wipes someone out. No, it's something much more subtle. A slow, steady drain that's hard to even notice until it's too late. So that's the big question, right? Why does this happen? If it's not some huge, obvious mistake, then what is it? What's really going on under the surface? Well, let's dig in. This problem has a name, and it's silent erosion. And honestly, just understanding that it's a real defined threat is the very first step to actually stopping it. Think of it like a death by 1,000 cuts, or maybe a tiny, slow leak in a pipe. Each individual decision, nudging your stop loss just a little bit or adding a bit more risk because you've got a good feeling, it feels totally insignificant by itself. But when you repeat those little harmless decisions over and over, they create this powerful negative current that just drags your account balance down. So to fix the leak, we first have to find it. We need a diagnosis. And the first major culprit? It's that part of us that trades with our gut and our heart instead of our head. Let's call it the emotional gambler. There is a razor-thin line between confidence and its evil twin, overconfidence. After a nice win, a pro feels confident. And what does that mean? It means they're confident in their plan, so they stick to it. The amateur, though, they feel invincible. They think they've suddenly cracked the code, so they start trading bigger and taking wilder risks, and that's usually where the trouble starts. And the flip side is maybe even more dangerous. After taking a loss, the amateur's gut screams, get back in there and win it back now. That's not trading. That's what we call revenge trading. A professional knows the smartest, most profitable move is to actually step away, take a breath, reassess. The last thing you should do is force another trade out of anger. Oh man, this one is a classic. Your plan has a clear exit point. The trade goes against you, it hits that point, but then hope whispers in your ear, hey, maybe it'll turn around. Just give it a little more room. The second you let hope bend the rules of your logic, you've just given a small, manageable loss permission to become a really painful one. For a pro, the plan is the plan, period. And the list just goes on and on. All of these are decisions driven by feelings, not by a solid strategy. Jumping into a trade just because you're bored and want some action? That's a bad reason. Chasing a stock that's already halfway to the moon? You're acting on FOMO. Getting hypnotized by every single price tick? You're just setting yourself up for an emotional reaction. And really, it all comes down to this simple truth. The market is just this big, impartial machine. It doesn't know you, it doesn't care if you feel smart, and it definitely doesn't give out rewards just because your ego needs to be proven right. Okay, so that's the emotional side of the coin, but that's not the whole story. The other major cause of this silent erosion isn't about feelings. It's about a fundamental failure in planning and process. This is the unprepared strategist. Seriously, if you wanted to create a foolproof guide to failing slowly, this would be it. Keep your plan vague, just a fuzzy idea in your head. The second your strategy has a few losses, dump it and find a new one. And whatever you do, never, ever look back at your past trades to learn from your mistakes. It is a perfect recipe for repeating them forever. Now this right here, this combination is probably the single biggest account killer out there. We fall in love with our losing trades, we let them run and run, just hoping and praying they'll come back to break even. At the same time, we get terrified of losing our profits, so we snatch our winners off the table at the first little sign of green. And the result is totally predictable. Our average loss becomes way bigger than our average win. You can't survive that math. So many traders see leverage as this magic key to getting rich fast with a small account. But here is the brutal truth you have to understand. Leverage is an amplifier. It speeds everything up, but it has a much bigger impact on the speed and size of your mistakes than it does on your profits. A tiny error can become a catastrophic disaster in the blink of an eye when you're over-leveraged. And of course, there are plenty of other little cracks in the foundation, cluttering your charts with a dozen indicators until you can't even think straight, falling for the myth that to grow a small account you have to take these giant lottery ticket risks. All of these are just process failures that contribute to that slow, steady drain. Okay, so we've gone through the diagnosis, and I know it can feel like a lot, it might even be a bit discouraging, but here's the good news, the really important part. There is a clear, powerful, and totally achievable solution. There is a prescription for this. So, the source material we've been working from identifies 25 of these different profit-killing habits. 25. When you hear a number that big, it's easy to just feel overwhelmed, like the problem is just too massive to even tackle. But here's the critical shift in thinking you have to make. The market isn't punishing you because you don't know enough. It's punishing you for making the same bad decisions over and over again. See, this isn't a knowledge problem. It's a discipline problem. And discipline, well, discipline is a skill you can build.
And that's where this number comes in. I want you to completely forget about the number 25. Just focus on this.
This is it. This is the entire game plan. You do not have to become the perfect, flawless trader overnight. That's impossible. All you have to do is identify your single worst habit, the one that does the most damage, and focus every ounce of your energy on eliminating just that one thing. And the impact of this is absolutely huge. When you fix just one or two of these major leaks, you finally stop the erosion. You stabilize your foundation. And for maybe the first time, you actually give your good trading ideas a real chance to work and to grow your account, instead of just constantly trying to bail it out. So this all leaves us with one final and really crucial question, a question I want you to ask yourself right now. After hearing all of this, what is it for you? What's your number one leak? Which bad habit will you choose to declare war on starting today?